The galaxy was in chaos. Entire star systems burned, and countless civilizations fell under the weight of an unknown enemy. Alien empires that had once been rivals were now forced to cooperate, sending messages of desperation to one another. They needed help. They needed allies. In the middle of this chaos, Earth's sensors picked up the first urgent request. It was a simple message, repeated across dozens of channels, translated quickly by Earth's artificial intelligence systems. The galaxy begs for reinforcements. Send what you can, humanity paused. For centuries, humans had watched the stars, curious but cautious. Earth's fleets were small compared to the fleets of these advanced alien civilizations. The political councils debated for weeks. Some argued for sending many ships to show strength, while others warned that sending a fleet might risk the survival of Earth itself. Finally, the decision was made. Humanity would respond, but cautiously. They would send a single ship, not a fleet, not a battalion, just one small vessel. The Valiant Dawn was selected. It was not the largest or most heavily armed ship Earth had, but it was advanced, fast, and designed for versatility. More importantly, it carried humans, the species known for adaptability, creativity, and courage. Captain Ilara Voss, a woman in her early 40s with sharp eyes and calm confidence, was chosen to lead the mission. She had commanded missions in the far reaches of the solar system, had experience with diplomacy, and, more importantly, understood the human ability to improvise. Her crew was handpicked, engineers, scientists, and soldiers, all specialists in their fields but trained to work together under pressure. The crew assembled in Earth's orbit, looking out at the massive expanse of space. Some were anxious, some excited, but all understood the gravity of their task. Humanity had been given a chance to make a mark on the galaxy, and they would not squander it. As the launch countdown began, Captain Voss addressed her crew. "We are small," she said, her voice steady, "but that does not mean we are powerless. Every choice we make will echo across this galaxy. Remember, our strength is not in our weapons or our size, but in our minds, our courage, and our will to survive." The engines of the Valiant Dawn roared to life, shaking the hull and sending vibrations through the crew's boots. One by one, the restraints released and the ship lifted away from Earth. Millions watched the launch on giant screens, their hopes and fears entwined with every movement of the tiny vessel that carried humanity's pride into the unknown. Once in open space, the crew settled into their routines. Captain Voss reviewed mission objectives with the officers. The galaxy was vast and the threat was undefined. Intelligence suggested the enemy was highly advanced, capable of moving across star systems quickly, and relentless in their pursuit of conquest. The humans' single mission was to make contact with allied civilizations and assist them however they could, knowing full well that in many situations, the Valiant Dawn would be vastly outnumbered. The first jump through the Wormgate network was unlike anything the crew had ever experienced. Stars blurred into streams of light, the ship vibrating as space itself seemed to fold around them. Time and distance became abstract concepts. When the Valiant Dawn emerged, they found themselves in the outskirts of a war-torn sector. Smoke and debris drifted in zero gravity, remnants of battles that had left entire planets crippled. The sensors picked up multiple distress signals, some from small colonies, others from massive space stations under siege. The humans were hesitant at first. This was the galaxy's problem, not theirs. But Captain Voss reminded her crew that they had been sent to make a difference. "We do not stand idly while others suffer," she said firmly. "Even one human ship can tip the balance." Their first mission of aid was a small outpost orbiting a shattered planet. It had been under attack by alien raiders for days, the inhabitants trapped and without communication. The humans approached cautiously, scanning for traps. What they found shocked them. The station was barely functional, its defense systems destroyed, and the alien raiders were not a massive fleet, but a swarm of small, intelligent ships designed for hit-and-run tactics. The crew moved quickly. Engineers hacked into the station's damaged systems, restoring power to shields and life support. Soldiers prepared defenses, while scientists assessed the environment for any hazards. Then the humans executed a daring plan. Using their ship's advanced maneuvering systems, they drew the raiders into a trap, using precise energy pulses and electromagnetic pulses to disable the attackers' ships. It was risky, but it worked. One by one, the raiders' ships shut down and drifted helplessly. The station's inhabitants cheered, their relief palpable even across communication channels. Many had never seen humans before, and their perception of Earthlings shifted in an instant, from unknown observers to heroes capable of courage and strategy. Captain Voss allowed herself a small smile. Humanity's reputation was growing, not through force but through ingenuity and bravery. As the humans continued their journey, news of their actions spread faster than they could imagine. Signals from other star systems began to reach them, messages of hope and requests for help. The galaxy was desperate, and humanity was becoming a symbol of what a single determined species could do. Yet not all signals were friendly. Some were warnings, threats, and signs of more dangerous adversaries. The crew realized that while they were making allies, they were also being watched. Somewhere in the vast darkness, enemies were assessing humanity's potential, wondering if a single ship could really make a difference. Captain Voss knew they had to keep moving, to continue their mission despite the dangers. Every jump through the galaxy brought new challenges, new opportunities, and new lessons about the civilizations they encountered. They learned about cultures that valued knowledge above power, societies that lived in harmony with their planets, and others that had been hardened by constant war. Humanity's flexibility and creativity allowed them to adapt to each situation, often in ways alien allies could not predict. In private moments, the crew reflected on the enormity of their journey. They were the first humans many of these civilizations had ever seen, and they carried the weight of expectation and hope. Some nights, when the stars shimmered through the hull, they felt the smallness of their ship compared to the galaxy. Yet within that small vessel, they carried the essence of humanity: curiosity, courage, and an unyielding desire to survive and protect others. Captain Voss recorded her personal log. "We are small, but we are not powerless. The galaxy is vast, full of challenges we cannot yet imagine, but humans adapt, humans fight, and humans endure. If even one species can make a difference, let it be us." The valiant Dawn continued its voyage, leaving the comfort of known space behind. Every jump, every encounter, every choice would test their resolve. Humanity had answered the galaxy's call, and though they were only one ship, they were determined to prove that even a single human vessel could change the fate of many. In the endless expanse of stars, one small ship carried the hope of an entire species, and the galaxy would soon learn that humans were unlike anything it had ever faced. The valiant Dawn drifted silently through the endless black of space, its hull reflecting distant stars like scattered diamonds. Captain Alara Voss stood on the bridge, eyes scanning the monitors. She had commanded long missions before, but nothing had prepared her for the responsibility now resting on her shoulders. Humanity's first step into the galaxy's chaos rested entirely on this single ship. The crew moved efficiently around her. Lieutenant Kieran Holt, the ship's chief engineer, checked energy conduits while quietly humming a tune that reminded him of Earth's oceans. Dr. Sienna Park, the science officer, monitored sensor readings, detecting faint signals from the edges of nearby systems. Sergeant Malik Rourke and his security team ran drills, knowing full well they might be humanity's first and last line of defense against threats the galaxy had never seen. For days, the crew followed Wormgate coordinates sent by allied alien forces. Each jump brought new landscapes of stars, nebulae, and planets, some beautiful, others scarred by war. The humans observed everything with a mixture of awe and caution. They were tiny travelers in a vast galaxy, but they carried a spark that no fleet, no matter how large, could replicate: human ingenuity. It was during their second jump that the first real challenge arrived. Sensors picked up a weak distress signal from a small colony, orbiting a rocky planet. The signal was fragmented, broken by interference, but the message was clear: help. Under attack. Need immediate assistance. The crew exchanged nervous glances. They were alone, one ship against an unknown enemy. Captain Voss clenched her fists and steadied her breathing. "We don't turn away from those in need," she said firmly. "Prepare to respond. This is what we were sent for." As the valiant Dawn approached the colony, the crew saw the chaos firsthand. The orbital platforms were damaged, some completely destroyed. Fires and smoke drifted into the vacuum of space. Small attack ships, sleek and aggressive, zipped past the colony's remnants, firing energy pulses that tore through debris and hull alike. The humans were vastly outnumbered, but they did not hesitate. Lieutenant Holt quickly calculated the enemy's speed and attack patterns. "Captain, if we approach from the sunward side, we can use the planet's magnetic field to mask our entry," he said. It was a risky maneuver, but Captain Voss knew human creativity often thrived under risk. "Do it," she ordered. The Valiant Dawn dove toward the planet, slipping between radiation belts and using gravity to hide its approach. The alien attackers were momentarily confused, their sensors unable to track the small human ship. Sergeant Rourke readied the defense turrets, and the engineers prepared the ship's hacking systems for one of the most daring operations they had ever attempted. The humans' plan was simple but dangerous. Instead of attacking with brute force, they would disable the enemy ships using electronic warfare. The engineers interfaced with the ship's systems, sending pulses through nearby satellites and debris to interfere with the attackers' navigation systems. One by one, enemy ships began spinning out of control, their precision disrupted by the humans' unconventional tactics. Meanwhile, Dr. Park coordinated with the colony's remaining systems. She reactivated shield generators and life support modules, buying the colonists precious time. The humans' efforts were methodical, precise, and relentless. Despite being vastly outnumbered, they slowly regained control of the situation. Hours passed like minutes. The small human crew worked tirelessly, their synergy and focus unmatched by the alien attackers. Eventually, the remaining enemy ships retreated, confused and damaged, leaving the colony in the hands of its survivors. The humans had won, not through overwhelming force, but through strategy, courage, and quick thinking. The colonists emerged from their shelters, eyes wide with astonishment. They had never seen humans before, and the tiny ship that had saved them seemed almost miraculous. Captain Voss addressed them over communications, her voice calm and reassuring. "You are safe now. We are here to help. Humanity will do what it can to protect those in need." As the Valiant Dawn prepared to leave, Dr. Park observed something unusual on the sensors, small hidden pods drifting in the debris field. "Captain, there are signs of automated drones. Scouts, I think, monitoring us. They are fast but not very intelligent. They could follow us back to the colony or to another system." Captain Voss frowned. "We cannot afford to leave them unchecked. Lieutenant Holt, prepare a neutralization sweep. We will make sure these pods cannot harm anyone else." With careful precision, the humans disabled the pods without destroying them, ensuring that no unnecessary harm came to the automated machines. Even in war, humanity's principles guided them. They fought to protect life, not to annihilate indiscriminately. As the Valiant Dawn left the orbit of the damaged colony, the crew reflected on the day's events. They had faced danger, uncertainty, and overwhelming odds, yet they had prevailed. It was a small victory in a galaxy filled with immense challenges, but it demonstrated something more important. Human beings were resourceful, courageous, and willing to risk everything for the right cause. Captain Voss recorded her personal log. One ship, one crew, countless challenges. Today we proved that humanity's strength is not in numbers but in heart, mind, and courage. The galaxy may have doubted us, but we will show them what humans are capable of. The days that followed were filled with new encounters. Some were peaceful, offering opportunities to learn about alien cultures, technology, and alliances. Others were tense, with warnings of enemies far stronger than the humans could face head-on. Each interaction tested the crew's judgment, diplomacy, and adaptability. In one system, they discovered a planet ravaged by a war between two alien factions. Entire cities floated in ruins, and yet signs of hope remained. Survivors had organized themselves into communities, and the humans shared knowledge to help them rebuild. In another, they intercepted an abandoned warship, its system still active but malfunctioning. Engineers worked for hours to salvage information, learning more about the enemy's tactics than any spy network could reveal. Every challenge strengthened the crew's confidence. They were one ship against the galaxy, yet they could adapt faster, think smarter, and act with courage. The humans' presence began to inspire hope. Allies that had been hesitant or fearful now reached out for guidance, asking how one small ship could accomplish so much. The answer was simple. Humans were unpredictable, determined, and unafraid to face impossible odds. Yet, even as the Valiant Dawn moved from system to system, a sense of unease lingered. Captain Voss knew that their actions were being observed. Somewhere in the shadowy depths of the galaxy, powerful enemies were taking note. Humanity had entered a war it did not fully understand, and their reputation as underdogs could be both an advantage and a danger. One quiet night, as the crew rested in shifts, Captain Voss walked the corridors of the ship. The hum of engines and the soft glow of control panels created a sense of calm, but her mind was alert. She thought of Earth, of the millions watching their progress, and of the countless lives now depending on the courage of a single ship. "We may be small," she whispered, "but we are more than they imagine. We are humans." The crew continued their journey, facing new mysteries and dangers at every turn. They encountered rogue asteroids, malfunctioning satellites, and unusual energy phenomena. Each obstacle tested their skills and teamwork, but also reinforced what they had learned. The galaxy was unpredictable, and survival required creativity, intelligence, and unshakable resolve. Captain Voss addressed the crew again during one of their brief gatherings. "We are not here to conquer or dominate," she said. "We are here to show that one species, one ship, can make a difference. Our actions will echo across the stars, and every life we save will remind the galaxy that humans are not to be underestimated." As the Valiant Dawn jumped to another star system, a glimmer of light appeared on the sensors, a massive fleet unlike any they had seen before. Captain Voss's eyes narrowed. This was only the beginning. The real challenges lay ahead, and the humans would need all their courage, intelligence, and teamwork to face what awaited them. In that moment, the crew understood the truth. The galaxy had called for reinforcements, and humanity had answered with only one ship. It was small, but it carried the potential to change everything. And as the stars stretched endlessly before them, the humans aboard the Valiant Dawn knew they were ready to rise to the challenge. The Valiant Dawn moved silently through the black expanse of space, the faint hum of its engines filling the ship with steady reassurance. Captain Alara Voss stood on the bridge, her eyes scanning the sensor arrays with intensity. The crew had grown accustomed to facing danger, but each new system brought fresh challenges and unfamiliar threats. Humanity's reputation as a small but courageous species was spreading, and the humans themselves could feel the weight of expectations pressing upon them. Sensors picked up an anomaly in a nearby star system, a cloud of energy that seemed alive, pulsing rhythmically. Dr. Sienna Park's fingers danced across the controls, analyzing the phenomenon. "Captain, this energy field is unlike anything in our database. It's emitting patterns similar to communication signals, but it's organic, almost sentient." Captain Voss narrowed her eyes. "Could it be a trap?" she asked. The galaxy was full of dangers, many of which were unpredictable. "Prepare a probe. We'll gather information before moving closer." The probe shot out, passing effortlessly through the swirling energy. Its readings returned strange but fascinating results. The energy was not harmful, at least not yet, but it responded to the probe as if it could perceive its presence. "This is remarkable," Dr. Park said. "It's like a living system of pure energy. We may be the first species to encounter it directly." Before further study could continue, alarms blared across the bridge. Lieutenant Kieran Holt shouted, "Captain, incoming ships. Unknown design fast, and they're surrounding us." The humans' hearts quickened. The approaching vessels were unlike any they had seen. A jagged design, shimmering with reflective surfaces that made their numbers hard to estimate. Captain Voss remained calm. "Focus on defense and communication. We need to understand if they are hostile or curious." Attempts to communicate met only interference. The alien ships were advanced and silent, closing the distance quickly. Sergeant Malik Rourke and his security team braced for combat, positioning energy turrets and shields. The crew of the Valiant Dawn had faced overwhelming odds before, but the size and precision of this fleet were unprecedented. Suddenly, the energy anomaly pulsed violently, sending waves of light across the system. The alien ships faltered, their movements erratic, as if the energy itself had intervened. Dr. Park's eyes widened. "Captain, it's interacting with them. It's protecting us, or maybe warning them." Captain Voss seized the opportunity. "Prepare a coordinated maneuver. Use the anomaly to mask our position and move out of their immediate threat zone. Let's observe before engaging." The humans executed a daring plan. Using the energy field's pulsing waves, the Valiant Dawn moved unpredictably, slipping between shadows of light. The alien ships struggled to track them. It was a tense game of intelligence versus instinct, and humanity's creativity gave them the edge. Hours passed, and the alien ships eventually retreated, leaving the humans unharmed. The crew exhaled in relief, though their vigilance remained. "This energy field, it saved us," Dr. Park said. "I believe it has some awareness like a guardian of this system. If so, it might hold valuable knowledge." Captain Voss nodded. "We'll study it. Every encounter teaches us something. Remember, the galaxy is full of allies and threats alike, and sometimes they are one and the same." As the humans explored the system, they discovered a small planet, partially hidden within the energy field. The planet's surface was dotted with ruins, evidence of an ancient civilization. Sensors detected faint life signs, small but present. "Captain," Dr. Park said, "there are survivors. They've adapted to the energy field. Perhaps they are responsible for it." The Valiant Dawn prepared a descent. The crew suited up for exploration, carrying scientific equipment and defensive gear. As they approached the surface, they saw structures unlike anything human eyes had imagined. Towers of translucent crystal, roads that shimmered like liquid, and lights that moved as if alive. The planet itself seemed to breathe, responding subtly to their presence. A group of humanoid beings emerged, cautious but curious. Their skin shimmered faintly, reflecting the colors of the energy field. Their eyes were large, intelligent, and aware. Captain Voss stepped forward, hands raised in peace. "We come as friends," she said. "We are from Earth. We want to understand and help if we can." The beings communicated through patterns of light and vibrations. Dr. Park worked quickly, translating the signals into basic concepts. Slowly, the humans learned that these beings were the caretakers of the energy field, designed to protect their world from external threats. They had observed the galaxy for centuries, intervening only when necessary to maintain balance. The caretakers recognized the humans' courage and ingenuity. They had never seen a species so small take such bold actions to help others. "Your presence is unusual," one of the beings conveyed through the translator. "Few species act with such purpose and integrity. You are capable of great influence in this galaxy." Captain Voss felt a surge of pride. Humanity had only just begun its journey among the stars, yet already they were earning respect in places no one had imagined. "We want to learn from you," she said. "We want to be better allies and protectors in a galaxy that is suffering." The caretakers agreed to share knowledge, teaching the humans about energy manipulation, navigation through dangerous regions, and strategies for maintaining balance in chaotic systems. The humans absorbed every detail, their minds racing with possibilities. Lieutenant Holt marveled at the engineering principles, while Dr. Park sketched theories and potential applications. Even Sergeant Rourke found ways to adapt defensive tactics using the new information. But as the humans prepared to leave, a warning arrived, an encrypted transmission from a nearby sector. The message was clear and chilling. "The humans are moving among us. Prepare for their intervention. They must not succeed." Captain Voss studied the transmission. "They know we exist," she said quietly. "And they see us as a threat already." Dr. Park frowned. "We don't know who they are. Could be the enemy fleets we've heard about, or worse, a species far stronger and more organized than any we've encountered." The crew realized the magnitude of the challenge ahead. They were not merely exploring and assisting. They were now marked in the galaxy. Every action would be noticed, every success potentially provoking retaliation. Yet the humans did not falter. They had survived overwhelming odds before using intelligence, teamwork, and courage. Now they would continue to do so, no matter the danger. As the Valiant Dawn ascended from the planet, the crew felt a renewed sense of purpose. They had encountered allies beyond imagination, learned lessons that could reshape their understanding of the galaxy, and proven that humans could face the unknown with confidence. Captain Voss recorded her log. "Today we learned that the universe is alive in ways we cannot yet comprehend. But even in the face of unknown power, humans endure. Our courage, ingenuity, and determination mark the beginning of something greater. The galaxy will take notice, and we will not falter." The ship continued its voyage, each jump bringing new systems, new civilizations, and new dangers. The humans moved with caution but also with conviction, aware that even a single ship could alter the course of countless lives. They had grown in skill, understanding, and reputation. Allies began to see Earth not as a distant planet but as a beacon of hope and ingenuity. Yet the shadows were closing. The enemies who had noticed humanity's actions were mobilizing, watching every transmission, analyzing every maneuver. The humans were small but unpredictable. They could not be controlled or anticipated easily. That unpredictability made them a target, but it also made them dangerous in ways the galaxy had yet to understand. Captain Voss stood on the bridge, looking at the stars stretching endlessly before them. "We are one ship," she said softly. "But we are humans. That is enough." The crew worked in silence, each member aware of the growing challenges ahead. They were a single vessel against an immense galaxy, yet they carried something far more powerful than fleets or weapons: ingenuity, courage, and the will to endure. The journey was far from over. New allies, greater threats, and unimaginable wonders awaited. Humanity had taken its first steps, and now, marked by the galaxy itself, they would rise to face the trials ahead. The valiant Dawn glided through the cold void of space, its sleek hull cutting through darkness like a blade. Captain Alara Voss stood on the bridge, watching the star systems unfold one after another. The crew had grown stronger with every challenge, their confidence tempered by experience and sharpened by each encounter with the unknown. Humanity had already begun leaving its mark in the galaxy, yet every victory seemed to attract attention from forces far larger and more dangerous than they had imagined. A new transmission appeared on the screens, encrypted, urgent, and unmistakably hostile. Captain Voss leaned forward, eyes narrowing. "Analyze it," she commanded. Dr. Park and Lieutenant Holt worked quickly, decrypting the message. What emerged was chilling. The alien fleet that had sent the warning now identified the valiant Dawn as a threat to their expansion, and they were mobilizing forces to intercept the humans. Sergeant Malik Rourke stepped forward, his voice tense. "Captain, they have numbers we've never faced. Entire squadrons, perhaps hundreds of ships. If they catch us, it could mean the end of our mission and maybe the end of us." Captain Voss's gaze remained steady. "We are small, yes," she said, "but we are human, and humans do not give up. We will use our wits, our speed, and our ingenuity. That is our strength." The crew prepared for the inevitable confrontation. The ship's energy shields were optimized, turrets calibrated, and engines pushed to their limits. Every crew member knew the stakes. The humans were alone, but they had learned the value of adaptation, courage, and teamwork. As the enemy fleet approached, sensors revealed the scope of the threat. Ships of all sizes, from massive war vessels to nimble fighters, moved with deadly precision. Captain Voss studied their formations. "They rely on coordination and overwhelming firepower," she observed. "But they cannot anticipate creativity. That is our advantage." The humans implemented a daring plan. Using their ship's speed and agility, they would draw small enemy squadrons into narrow asteroid fields and energy anomalies, where the humans' knowledge and quick thinking could give them the upper hand. Lieutenant Holt reconfigured the ship's systems to emit false sensor readings, creating phantom positions to confuse the enemy. Dr. Park modified energy pulses to create temporary barriers, while Sergeant Rourke coordinated counterattacks with precision timing. The first engagement was swift and intense. Enemy fighters darted through space like predatory fish, aiming to overwhelm the valiant Dawn. But human ingenuity turned the tide. The ship twisted and turned, darting through asteroid belts, using energy anomalies to blind sensors and firing only when the outcome was certain. One by one, the attackers were disabled, their formations broken, their numbers reduced. Despite the success, Captain Voss knew the battle was only beginning. Larger ships were closing in, heavily armed, massive vessels capable of destroying planets. The human's single ship seemed almost fragile against such power. Yet Voss remained calm. "We do not fight for destruction," she said. "We fight to protect. That is the human way. We will survive." The crew worked in perfect coordination. Engineers rerouted power to shields at the precise moment enemy torpedoes would strike, while scientists calculated the trajectories of asteroids to use as cover. Soldiers fired with careful precision, targeting weak points in the enemy ships. Every maneuver was calculated yet flexible, human adaptability in action. Hours passed in a blur of tension and action. The valiant Dawn dodged, weaved, and struck back, its crew working tirelessly. Slowly, they began to turn the battle in their favor. Enemy ships faltered under the humans' unexpected tactics. Even the massive war vessels, confident in their overwhelming power, found themselves struggling to predict the humans' next move. Captain Voss observed the chaos, a mixture of pride and concern in her eyes. "We have shown them that size does not guarantee victory," she said quietly. "But we must remain vigilant. They will adapt and we must adapt faster." Amid the battle, the humans detected signals from nearby colonies. Many systems were vulnerable, unprotected, and at risk from the enemy fleet. Captain Voss made a decisive choice. "We will split our efforts. One part of the fleet will distract the enemy. We will guide civilians and provide cover for evacuations. No life will be left behind if we can prevent it." Using their ship's advanced navigation systems and knowledge gained from previous encounters, the humans executed a daring rescue operation. Colonists were transported through emergency shuttles, guided safely through dangerous space while the valiant Dawn engaged enemy ships to cover their escape. The crew coordinated flawlessly, blending bravery with intelligence. During the operation, Dr. Park discovered an unusual pattern in the enemy fleet's movements. "Captain," she said, "they are overconfident. They expect us to fight like they do, predictably with brute force. We can use this against them." Captain Voss nodded. "Then we will fight like humans, unpredictable, resourceful, and fearless. Prepare the counterattack." The humans lured the largest enemy vessels into a narrow nebula filled with magnetic storms. Navigation for the massive ships became impossible, their formations breaking apart. The humans exploited the chaos, disabling weapons and forcing retreats without suffering a single catastrophic loss. Humanity had done what many thought impossible. One ship had faced an entire fleet and survived. After the battle, the valiant Dawn emerged from the nebula, battered but intact. The crew exhaled, relief mingled with exhaustion. They had proven that humans could face impossible odds and survive, not by sheer firepower but through ingenuity, courage, and determination. Captain Voss addressed the crew. "Today we showed the galaxy that humans are not to be underestimated. One ship, one crew, one species, yet together we can make a difference. Never forget that. We are small, but we are extraordinary." The humans repaired their systems and analyzed the battlefield. Data from the encounter would change the way alien civilizations viewed humanity. News of their victory spread quickly to allied systems. Messages of admiration, hope, and requests for assistance began to arrive. Humans were no longer unknown observers. They were emerging as symbols of courage, intelligence, and determination. Yet the victory also brought new challenges. The enemy would not forget this defeat. Captain Voss understood that more dangerous adversaries were now aware of their presence, studying them carefully. The galaxy was vast, but humans were making waves that could not be ignored. Every action now carried weight. Every decision could have consequences far beyond their understanding. As the valiant Dawn continued its journey, they received reports of a massive energy surge in a nearby system, another potential threat, possibly tied to the mysterious caretakers they had encountered earlier. The humans prepared for further exploration, knowing that knowledge would be their greatest weapon. Captain Voss recorded her personal log. "The galaxy tests us at every step. We face overwhelming odds, but we endure. Humanity is small in size, yet large in spirit. Every challenge we meet strengthens us, and every life we save proves that courage and ingenuity can overcome fear and power. We are only one ship, yet we carry the hopes of countless beings, and we will not falter." The crew worked tirelessly, repairing systems, studying anomalies, and preparing for the next unknown. Each member had grown, not just in skill but in understanding of what it meant to be human in a galaxy filled with wonders and dangers. They had learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the ability to act in spite of it. They had learned that intelligence, creativity, and determination could equalize the odds against far larger forces. And as the valiant Dawn jumped to the next system, Captain Voss knew the journey ahead would only become more dangerous. Enemies were adapting, allies were looking to them, and the galaxy itself seemed alive, challenging them at every turn. But humanity had already proven that even one ship could inspire change, defy expectation, and alter the course of countless lives. The rising storm of war and chaos loomed on the horizon, but humans were ready. One ship, one crew, one species. They carried hope and courage into the darkness. The galaxy had called for reinforcements, and humanity had answered with boldness, brilliance, and determination. The Valiant Dawn glided into the heart of a war-torn star system, the crew tense yet resolute. Captain Alara Voss stood on the bridge studying the holographic map of the system. Reports from allied civilizations had warned of a massive enemy fleet gathering near the outer rim. It was unlike anything the humans had faced before. Hundreds of vessels, each designed for domination, equipped with weapons that could obliterate planets. Yet Captain Voss's determination remained unshaken. "We have one chance," she said firmly to the crew. "We are small, but we are human. Every skill, every idea, every bit of courage we have will be needed. We will not fail." The crew moved efficiently. Lieutenant Kieran Holt adjusted the engines, optimizing speed and maneuverability. Dr. Sienna Park analyzed sensor data, detecting weak points in the enemy formation. Sergeant Malik Rourke prepared the defense turrets and coordinated boarding protocols if needed. Each human knew the stakes. They carried the hopes of not only Earth but countless beings across the galaxy. As the enemy fleet came into view, the magnitude of the threat became terrifyingly clear. The ships were massive, bristling with weapons and moving with coordinated precision. The humans' single vessel seemed insignificant against the overwhelming force. Yet, as always, they relied not on size or brute strength, but on ingenuity and unpredictability. Captain Voss devised a bold plan. "We will divide and conquer," she said. "We'll use the nebula clouds and asteroid fields to our advantage. Smaller enemy squadrons will be drawn into traps. We'll disable their ships with precision strikes, targeting critical systems rather than destroying them entirely. The galaxy is watching, and we must prove that humans act with intelligence and honor." The Valiant Dawn slipped through the nebula like a shadow, sensors detecting the enemy's approach long before the attackers could see them. Dr. Park noted anomalies in the nebula's energy patterns. "Captain, these fields can amplify our signals and confuse the enemy's sensors. We can hide, strike, and retreat faster than they can react." Sergeant Rourke readied the defense systems. "They won't know what hit them," he said, a faint smile of anticipation on his face. Humans thrived in situations where others relied only on force. Creativity, courage, and adaptability were their greatest weapons. The battle began. Enemy fighters darted through the nebula, trying to locate the Valiant Dawn. The human ship twisted and turned, slipping past attacks, striking precisely where the enemy was weakest. One by one, their vessels were disabled, engines failing, weapons offline. The humans' tactics were unconventional, unpredictable, and highly effective. Hours passed in intense combat. The Valiant Dawn moved like a phantom, striking swiftly and retreating before retaliation could occur. The enemy fleet's coordination faltered, confused by the humans' ingenuity. Captain Voss coordinated every maneuver, every attack, every retreat with flawless precision. Humans were not the strongest species, but they were the cleverest, and cleverness often defeated strength. During the battle, communications from allied civilizations poured in. Messages of hope, encouragement, and strategic support reached the Valiant Dawn. Some provided real-time data on enemy movements, while others shared knowledge about weak points in their ships. The humans had become a symbol, a spark of hope in the darkest corners of the galaxy. Yet the danger was far from over. A massive warship, larger than any planet's moon, emerged from the nebula. Its weapons could destroy the Valiant Dawn in moments. Captain Voss stared at it, unflinching. "This is it," she said. "Our greatest challenge. We will use everything we've learned. Trust your training, trust your instincts, and trust each other. Humanity does not give up." The crew worked together seamlessly. Lieutenant Holt calculated precise engine maneuvers to exploit gravitational anomalies, while Dr. Park identified weak points in the colossal ship's energy shields. Sergeant Rourke and the security team readied boarding drones and emergency countermeasures. Every human knew that the smallest error could be catastrophic, yet their confidence in each other was unshakable. As the Valiant Dawn engaged the massive warship, the crew executed a daring tactic. Using energy pulses and magnetized asteroids, they created a temporary disruption in the enemy's shields. Dr. Park directed energy strikes at vulnerable systems, while Lieutenant Holt synchronized engine maneuvers to dodge retaliatory fire. The massive warship faltered, its attacks ineffective against the humans' unpredictable maneuvers. Captain Voss issued the final command. "Now disable it. Precision and speed. No unnecessary destruction." The humans struck with coordinated precision. Energy conduits overloaded, engines shut down, and the colossal warship drifted powerless, unable to harm anyone. The enemy fleet, witnessing the defeat of their largest ship, began to retreat in confusion and fear. The humans had not only survived, they had won. Silence fell across the bridge for a moment, broken only by the hum of the Valiant Dawn's engines. The crew stared at the stars, realization dawning. They had faced impossible odds and prevailed. Humanity, with a single ship and a single crew, had changed the course of an entire conflict. Captain Voss spoke, her voice calm but filled with pride. Today we have proven that courage, ingenuity, and determination can overcome any force. We are humans. One ship, one crew, and countless hearts behind us. The galaxy will remember this. Messages of gratitude and admiration arrived from allied civilizations. Planets previously on the brink of destruction celebrated humanity's bravery. The Valiant Dawn had inspired hope, showing that even one species, one ship, could make a difference against overwhelming odds. As the ship prepared to leave the system, Dr. Park observed the energy anomaly they had encountered in Part 3. It pulsed in recognition of the humans' achievement, a subtle acknowledgement from a sentient force in the galaxy. "Captain," she said, "the universe itself seems to acknowledge what we have done. Humanity has left its mark." Captain Voss nodded, gazing at the stars. "Our journey is not over," she said. "There will always be challenges, new dangers, and opportunities to make a difference. But we have proven that humanity can rise even when the odds are impossible." The crew worked quietly, repairing systems, logging data, and reflecting on their journey. Each member had grown, not just in skill, but in understanding what it meant to represent humanity in the galaxy. They had learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the willingness to act despite it. They had learned that intelligence and creativity could match strength, and that compassion was a force more powerful than any weapon. Captain Voss recorded her final log for the mission's current stage. The galaxy called for reinforcements, and humanity answered with one ship. Alone, we faced threats larger than our imagination, and yet we endured. We saved lives, earned trust, and proved that small beings can achieve extraordinary things. This is only the beginning. The universe is vast, but humans will rise to meet it, unafraid and undeterred. Humanity is not defined by size or numbers, but by heart, courage, and ingenuity. Today, the galaxy has seen the strength of a single human ship, and it will never forget us. The Valiant Dawn set course for the next system, carrying not only humans but the hope of countless civilizations. The galaxy was chaotic, filled with dangers and mysteries, but humanity had proven it was capable of shaping its destiny. One ship had stood against the impossible, and in doing so, it had shown that even the smallest spark could ignite a galaxy-wide change. The stars stretched endlessly before them, and Captain Voss knew the adventure was far from over. New allies would seek their help, new threats would emerge, and new lessons awaited. Yet the humans aboard the Valiant Dawn were ready. They had faced darkness and emerged victorious. They had turned fear into courage, weakness into strength, and solitude into hope. The galaxy had begged for reinforcements. Humanity had answered with only one ship, and it had been enough. And in that moment, amid the stars and the silence of space, one truth became clear. Humans were not merely survivors. They were innovators, warriors, protectors, and beacons of hope. One ship, one crew, one species had changed the course of the galaxy forever. The Valiant Dawn soared onward, a symbol of courage, ingenuity, and the indomitable spirit of humanity. Whatever lay ahead, the crew knew they could face it together, and that humanity, even in its smallest form, could rise to meet any challenge.